I'm Kerrie Stanley.
And I'm Dolly Diamond.
And welcome to Kerrie and Dolly.
Oh,
here we are again, darling.
Oh, another week.
Another week. It's gone pretty quickly.
Yes.
How's it been for you out there? Are you well? Let us know. You know what to do. Jump on the comments. We see it.
We love it. We want to know what, and that is real.
That's true.
We want to know how you are, and you can be honest
Yep.
or lie. We don't mind, because it's not easy. We know that, but we are back to brighten your mood, lift your spirits, and take you away with the fairies.
You look rather bright yourself,
I
actually.
feel very...
You've got a new do.
I know, I've had my head.
You got your hair cut.
Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
You just think, I thought I'd get it all off, just cut it and make it,
Get it all off so the neighbours can enjoy.
Well, there you go. It's it's a bit of a pixie cut, and guess who did it? My mate. You did a very good job.
Thank you, darling.
I love it.
Thank you.
You're
love
it.
I come in handy sometimes.
Fresh. Oh, you're bloody brilliant. You know I love you.
Thanks.
We are up for a big one tonight, and I'm imagining that you are as well, wherever you may be watching.
We're going to get straight into it, though, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah,
We
I think
need
we do,
music.
because we've got so much to go on. We've got heaps of musical guests. We've got lots of interviews. We've got Virginia Gay coming up. Exciting and lots more. But we're going to cut straight to a little bit of hanky panky.
Oh, take it away, Aaron.
Come over here. Some girls, they like candy, and others, they like to grind. I'll settle for the back of your hand, somewhere on my behind. Treat me like I'm a bad girl, even when I'm being good to you. I don't want you to thank me, you can just spank me. Grrr. Some guys like to sweet talk, and others they like to tease. Tie my hands behind my back, and ooh, I'm in ecstasy. Don't slobber me with kisses, I can get that from my sisters. Before I get too cranky, you better like hanky-panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchief, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky-panky guy. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchief, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky-panky guy. Ooh. Please don't call the doctor, 'cause there's nothing wrong with me. I just like things a little rough, and you better not disagree. 'Cause I don't want a big softy, I like someone mean and bossy. Let me speak to you frankly, you better like hanky-panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchief, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky-panky like hanky-panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchief, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky-panky guy. Ooh, yeah. What about, that's an interesting, ooh, my bottom hurts just thinking about it. Treat me like I'm a bad girl, even when I'm being good to you. I don't want you to thank me, you better like hanky-panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchief, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky-panky like hanky-panky. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchief, I don't wanna cry, I just wanna hanky-panky guy. Nothing like a good spanky. Don't take out your handkerchief. I don't wanna cry. I just want a hanky-panky guy.
Hanky-panky. Good spanky.
Get the picture?
Wanna cry, I just wanna.
Woo! That's when I came into the world. The doctor said, lady, she's a beautiful girl. He gave me a spanky and the doctor smiled. So give it up, honey, 'cause I want it now.
Good spanky.
Don't take out your handkerchiefs. I don't wanna cry. I just want a hanky-panky guy.
Oh, now that's how you start a show.
That's an opener, isn't it?
It is, and Marnie doing the signing, lots of woo! Love that.
Ooh.
You were loving it too, in fact. A little chuckle. Nick says, I hope he doesn't cook with that spoon.
No, I thought it was for the Spoonville. He'd got it out of there.
I thought so too, but no, it's for
No, he
hanky-panky
whacked
and
the
stuff.
face off of that spoon, didn't he?
That was fun.
Oh, well done. Love that, Aaron. And you've got the PayPal there if you want to make a donation. That would be lovely.
fun.
Aaron will be back later.
Lovely.
Yes.
And hi to everyone watching. Thank you so much for joining us. There's lots of go Marnies. Oh, we absolutely
Love
agree.
Marnie.
And yes, and Nature says hello. When all this is over, can I have Aaron and Marnie in concert? Yes.
I think
a
that would be
concert.
wonderful.
That's going to happen one day, isn't it?
It will all be out, yes,
Yeah, we will.
eventually, you
Yeah.
know, but not yet.
Well, we've actually been getting out for our mandatory 1 hour a day.
Yes.
Kerrie and Dolly, it's funny talking about us in the third person, but we've actually formed a team to raise earned money for cerebral palsy for September. So if you jump onto our Facebook page, you'll see that we've made a post about it. It'd be really nice if you made a little donation for us.
Yes.
But the two of us, as well as Molly Melodrama, aka Sexy Galaxy, and also Tash York, who's been on the show, the four of us, we've committed to doing minimum 10,000 steps per day. And let me tell you, it's a little bit competitive going on between this
Well,
team.
I mean, you know, a little bit.
A little bit. Well, this one's got a bike too. Like, yeah,
Yes.
that's adding up. But I tell you what's really good. And getting those steps done in 1 hour is, well, you actually physically can't, well, unless you're a runner, and I'm not a runner. But I kind of average about 8,000 steps in that hour. So taking a leaf out of Sexy's book,
Gotta do it
lounge
where you
and
live.
dancing.
Yes.
Lounge and dancing. Yeah, that does the trick.
And Lexi is in isolation and doing it in the room.
In a hotel room. Yeah, managing 18,000 steps in a hotel room.
Not
and so there's
easy.
no way that I can not follow up and kind of do enough to
No, we've
keep
got
up
to
when I'm feeling a little bit
fit.
like, blah.
And, you know, we're not raising money for us.
No.
It is a very good cause.
Yep.
And as Kerrie mentioned, we would love it if you made a donation to have a little look, see how you get
Yeah, it's
on.
on our Facebook page. So, yeah, fab. So, good for the waistline too.
Yes, oh yes, that's, you know,
I
it's
had an
all
ISO
adds up.
waistline, so I'm going to take care of that. It's great.
Now we need to go to the newsroom, and I believe there's a wonderful announcement on the way from our Judy.
Judy Kelly from Joy News with an optimist's bent on what's making news this week. The role of Victoria's Commissioner for Gender and Sexuality has been renamed as the Commissioner for LGBTIQ plus communities to better reflect how the role is inclusive of the diversity of the state's rainbow communities. Victorians with an intersex variation are now recognised by the new title after advocates said they were not covered by gender and sexuality. The Commissioner, Ro Allen, says they have always been their Commissioner, but the new title makes it more visible. Melbourne's arts sector has received a $2.8 million funding boost under the City of Melbourne's Arts and Creative Investments Partnership Programme. Grants have been awarded to 32 arts and creative organisations, including major international events such as the Comedy Festival, the Film Festival and the Melbourne Fringe. The 2020 grant recipients also include smaller organisations such as the Koori Heritage Trust, Melbourne Queer Film Festival and the African Music and Culture Festival. Acon Pride Training are calling for LGBTQ plus community members to participate in a photo shoot in Sydney next week with content to feature in training materials. The health organisation want to feature as much diversity as possible within LGBTQ communities, people with and without disabilities, different body shapes, ages and cultural backgrounds. Expressions of interest via the pridetraining.org.au website close today. And finally, for now, a new world record was set this week for the world's oldest living married couple. Ecuadorian couple Julio Cesar Mora and his wife Waldramina Maclova Quinteros have a combined age of 214 and have been married for 79 years. The couple say honest work, love and mutual respect are key to their longevity and healthy coexistence. I'll be back a little later with more from Joy News.
Oh,
What a lovely story.
I know.
And well done for actually saying the names. Like, that was quite the mouthful.
I thought it was Ron and Anthony that had been married the longest. I mean, if you can, way back from no. And we've got amazing news about the commish.
Yes, I know you're watching Ro. Hello, congratulations on your new role. It's really
We'd
wonderful.
only just learnt to pronounce the old role, and but now's a new one, and we embrace it. We absolutely embrace it.
Yep, amazing. And also welcome to the Kerrie and Dolly family is Auslan interpreter Lauren Fox. Doing very well. So welcome.
Isn't it amazing the way that we're in this and we've been in it a while, all of us around the world. The way that everybody rallies, there's the way you've got to do everything online. You've got to cope with the way it is. I think it isn't ideal. We know that, but it's encouraging.
Well, people are just, I think, making do, aren't they? Like,
Got it.
you have your moments, and of course, even when we have our brightest moments, we can still feel a bit,
Yes.
but we pick ourselves up and we're doing it. And I mean, I know that term pivoting is like that one of those buzzwords at the moment, and that's what everyone is doing.
Yes.
Which is wonderful because we need to.
Yes,
and
it's a way to survive, isn't it?
Yeah.
We there's one woman, we love this lady, don't we?
Oh yes. A little story. Quick.
Yes.
So Calamity Jane is Virginia's role. It was amazing, and Lexi and I were front row to watch it. And in one part of the production where Calamity comes down, and she sat on my lap with Lex. Oh, we had a little bit of fun.
We are obviously talking about the one and only Virginia Gay, and it is lovely to have a Gay on your lap. And she joins us right now. Virginia, my love, are you there?
Hi, friends. How you doing?
Oh, she's home.
She's
Almost home, kind of. Well, where are you?
My darling, I'm on day 13 of hotel quarantine, and it's exactly as glamorous as you imagine.
Yes.
Well, you look good.
yes,
Thank you, bless your
your,
heart.
you've made your own bed.
I have, for the first time since I was about 14. Let's be absolutely honest. I've learnt to cook toast on an iron, and I've also occasionally fashioned a little saucepan out of alfoil. Basically, I'm a survivalist, is what I'm saying.
You could go to the wild and you'd be absolutely fine.
Yes.
Oh my God. The second that somebody asks me to, I will weave a home out of bamboo. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for this.
You're going to be on the next Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. That's
Or
cool.
with Bear Grylls.
Bear
I'd
Grylls.
rather be with Bear Grylls.
Be
I
with Bear,
would.
be fun.
I would really much prefer
Oh,
that.
Gay
That'd be-
Bear. What
Gay
about a
bear.
Gay Bear? You know?
Oh, what was that? Oh, there we go. Oh,
Just very
There
refreshing.
we go.
Sometimes
Now,
when I think about bear,
Survival.
Gotta do
That's
that.
the way
That
you
is survival.
survive.
Now, you've been living in LA for a wee while.
I have, yes.
And what brought you back home?
Oh, actually, it's an incredibly lovely story in the middle of this mad apocalypse, varied apocalypses that we're living in. I wrote 2 plays, and both of them have been picked up for next year.
Wow.
Assuming that theatre exists next year. I have
Oh, it
one-
will, it will.
Yes,
It will,
yes, yes.
it will.
Right? So one of them's going on at the MTC and one of them's going on at Belvoir, which is outrageously
Wow,
exciting.
congratulations. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you. I'm
Well
pretty
done.
thrilled. I really am. And so I'm coming back here to workshop them and to be in a room with people and also to hug my parents. Because I haven't hugged my parents in a long time.
It really isn't easy, is it? And as we know, right around Australia, with the world,
Yeah.
but it isn't easy. One thing with you, though, is whenever you leave, it's almost like you've not really gone anywhere because every voiceover is by Virginia Gay.
This is true.
Especially in Melbourne, isn't it? I'm the voice of tram interruptions in Melbourne. Yeah.
We love it.
That's a good gig. That's a good
I mean,
fun night.
there are a couple of tram interruptions, aren't there? But fabulous Daniel Andrews is leveling all the level crossings, or is submerging the level crossings. So I'm the voice of level crossings interruptions.
Oh, I'm relaxed already. You could.
I want to wake up with that.
But of course, Virginia, you and I were conversing, I think back at the beginning of lockdown, back in March, when we were talking about our mindfulness and meditations, and you sent me, and you were doing this really wonderful shout out to anybody who actually messaged you. Messaged you about doing your own personal meditations.
Yeah.
I have to do that because your voice.
Thank
Yes.
you so much, Kerrie. That really means the world. Yeah, they were
was
called.
heaven.
They're called gay affirmations.
Yeah, that's it. Gay affirmations.
Gay
Thank you.
affirmations. Hi, right up close to the mic. In fact, it's a little bit. When I do that, it's a little bit. It's a $12.99 per minute, like service. It's one of those sex services, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's sex services for mindfulness.
No, I was willing to give a lot more money.
Oh,
I
Like your
loved
beautiful
it.
hearts.
Ooh.
I'll send you a gay affirmation, darling.
Oh,
Bless your heart, it'd be an
I've had
honour.
them before. I've had them at the was too. But yours are different.
Now, darling,
You're
we also want to hear a lot about the Sparrow mentoring.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Isn't that brilliant? Okay, so Sean Rennie, who's just one of the greatest people in the entire world, was in the middle of doing a show that got cancelled, and it was at Whopper, and it got cancelled like on the day of opening. So the kids who are in the middle of their third year couldn't do their job, couldn't learn, couldn't do all of that stuff. And Sean was directing that. And Sean, being the incredibly conscientious, compassionate person, thought, how can I help these individual people get a little in this very, this industry which is lonely at the best of times.
Yes.
But like right at the moment, everything seems so isolated. And so he started connecting people individually. And then he was like, there is like a whole market for this, for people who need just that connection that gets them to the next level. So he started this entire beautiful thing called Sparrow Mentors, which is about early to mid-level career, just like connecting people with people who you would otherwise have no chance of sitting down and having a coffee with. A couple of hours a month, just like shooting the shit, drinking some wine, thinking about ideas, saying, what an excellent idea. And honestly, words of encouragement and guidance, Sean says this too, have been so, they're so incredibly important in journeys in ways that people who give the encouragement and guidance often would have no idea. But I can think of, like Sean can, 10 times in my life where somebody went, oh no, you've got a play in you. Or like Trevor Ashley once said to me, oh, you've got a cabaret show in you. No, you'll do one of those for Show Queen. And I was like, what? No, I don't have a cabaret show. And he was like, you do, trust me. Anyway, like that kind of stuff that is just like a yes-anding of people who you really respect and admire. And so this is Sparrow Mentors, and anybody can apply. It's so beautiful.
That's
That's
amazing,
wonderful.
isn't
That's
it?
really, really wonderful.
I mean, there is in our lives, there's people that you meet, that you get to know, but it's luck more than anything, isn't it?
Exactly.
You've
And
got to
this
be
idea-
lucky.
So this idea that particularly at this time when we're all more isolated than ever, that there's a forum that you can access people who you would have no access to. I mean, there are people on that list that I want to be mentored by. There are people who I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm on this list with Alex Timbers. I'm on this list with Benjamin Law. I'm on this list with Wesley Enoch, Ursula Jovich. Like, what an incredible bunch of people. Eddie Perfect, just like people who are just spectacular human beings, incredible creators. And now there is a way to access their brains for a little
Well,
while.
you are meant to be on that list.
Absolutely.
Obviously,
You say
the body of work. She's just had a play commissioned in Melbourne and Sydney.
amazing.
And she can do her own toast on an iron. On an iron.
My darling, I will send you a link to footage of me doing toast on the iron, and you can have that as a little exclusive. before I take
That's
it
an
to the bread.
only fans moment.
$12.99 an hour. Watch me. $12.99 an hour. I'm undercutting myself there.
You really, really are.
You're giving it away.
Well, darling, we could talk to you all there. We could talk to you all night, but you've got wine drinking to do.
I do. It's very important.
Oh, we love you.
We love
We
you.
love
So,
you.
thank you so much for having me. Bless your beautiful hearts.
Thank you, darling.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Cheers, my darlings. Bye.
Could you not love that woman any more?
I know when she's out the bottle. Oh, I loved it.
Made me laugh.
Oh, she's fabulous.
We first met, I think, about 10 years ago when she was doing something for channels when Winners and Losers were on.
Oh,
that
yes.
show she was on.
Yes.
And she came and did a story with me in my millinery for Channel 7 leading up to races. So, yeah, that was really cool. That's where we first met.
I've never really mentioned it, but she was my teacher at primary school. You know, which is just wonderful to be reunited tonight. A big hello to Katie Purvis, who's watching and loves Virginia.
Fabulous. And we've got a little message here from Keenan McGee. Thank you for tuning in, Keenan. Oh my God, I absolutely adore Virginia. She's a fabulous person and such a talented chick. Agreed. Amazing.
Agreed.
Yes.
We're online in the week, and we trawl around spying for videos and content. And we noticed this young man who's on his way, and he's all the way in New York. And we thought, well, we've got to give it a go, haven't we? You know. And we loved the message, and I reckon you will as well. Have a look at this.
Didn't think I was sexy. This body that I'm in felt so abnormal. Red hair, ghostly skin. Then a strange thing happened. My different became cool. My fire is desired. The exception's now the rule. I love my furry chest hair. Hashtag ginger beard. Blue eyes you could get lost in. These lips should be revered. My body is beautiful. Tell myself every day. My body is beautiful. No matter what critics say. My body is beautiful. No one can take that away. My body is beautiful. Can't tell me that I don't slay. I love my body just the same. I'm telling you I have no shame. No shame. Mom tells me I'm shameless, that I should keep on my clothes. Took time to feel this freedom, to feel proud enough to pose. It's not immoral to be naked. We're all just walking works of art. It shouldn't be indecent to make public the private parts. My body is beautiful. Tell myself every day. My body is beautiful. No matter what critics say. My body is beautiful. No one can take that away. My body is beautiful. Can't tell me that I don't slay. I love my body just the same. I'm telling you I have no shame. No, 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 no. No shame. I ain't got no shame. No shame. No. No shame. No shame. It's my body. No shame. No. Your body is beautiful. Tell yourself every day. Your body is beautiful. Don't let your brain get in the way. Our bodies are beautiful. Believing that could set you free. Our bodies are beautiful. Let those bitches disagree. Show off your body and proclaim that you ain't gonna feel no shame. I ain't got no shame. 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 No shame. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No shame. No shame.
Oh, wonderful.
Heaven.
More of that.
Oh, we're getting to see him live too.
All the way to New York.
All the way to New York, and let's go. Hello, Kyle.
Hello, Kerrie Dolly.
Oh,
Don't
this
you
is
love technology?
Yes, it's very fresh.
You
I
look
know.
amazing
It's
for
like
3
I'm
in the
there.
morning. But 3
I
in the
know.
morning.
Well,
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm a
that
night.
is good of you.
You know, artists. We're up late at night writing, so I'm a night owl.
Well, obviously, we love the message of that song. What is it? Well, you're sitting around where you are and you're writing something like that. What made you write that particular number?
Well, it was. I mean, and she hates when I keep saying this, but it was actually my mother who was upset about me like stripping down to my underwear in a performance in New York at Stonewall Inn, actually. And she said, "Have you no shame?" And then I just thought about it, and I was like, "No, I don't have any shame. I'm not ashamed of
yay.
that."
No.
Yeah, there needs to be
Yeah.
much more of that.
Mums are allowed, though, aren't they? Really, you know.
Well, you know, Catholic, so.
Yeah.
Catholic
Oh, even
mother,
worse.
yes.
Yes, even
So-
worse. But the message is amazing.
It's
isn't
wonderful.
it?
And Carl, so how's the response been from the community over there? You know, like it's getting lots of traction. We're seeing lots of reviews about it. Is everyone just loving it as much as we are here?
I'm getting a lot of good feedback from it, and people saying like, "Thank you for like saying this. We need this message out there." You know, in that time where you look on Instagram and all you see are these like perfect bodies, I think, or whatever that means. You know, these like sculpted, muscular bodies. You know, I think it's really great to say like, "Hey, like all bodies are really beautiful. You know, as long as you're happy, just rock the body that you have."
I believe that's it, isn't
Yep.
it? As long as you're all right, then it's all right. You know, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
whether you're thin or fat or whatever, or, you know,
No.
just be all right with what you've got. If not, then maybe look at doing something about it.
Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, just, you know, don't be ashamed of your body. And I was telling somebody earlier today, it doesn't necessarily mean like I want everybody to be naked in public. But what I mean is like, you know, wear something that you think is sexy and that you feel sexy in.
Yes.
And then just be comfortable. You know?
Exactly right. Now, you've got an album out as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's called Any Way I Want It To, and it came out this past Friday.
That's exciting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's my second album, and it is really an eclectic mix of songs. So that's why the title Anyway I Want It To, because and also I write very theatrically, so the song
noticed.
sounds yes the song sound is dictated by the message of the song or what the song is about. So if it is an angsty song, it's going to be kind of dark and rock. You know, if it's going to be a fun message, it'll be disco or pop, that sort of thing.
So tell us, Carl, about, I mean, are you missing performing live, I would imagine? We speak, you know, our show is really centred around entertainers and entertainment. And being in New York, you know, you've experienced the lockdowns and everything like that. How are you going with not having an audience?
It's definitely different, and you can't replace having an audience, as you both know, like right in front of you, just playing off of the audience. You can't replace that. That being said, though, it is kind of fun to be online and connect with people that maybe you wouldn't see at your show, people from other states or, you know, other countries, perhaps.
Yes.
So, yes.
Well, you wonder whether we would have, we might not have known about you really over here in Melbourne if it hadn't been this going on. You know, I mean, it's a difficult way to go through it, but it's worked.
You have to look at the positive in things.
Yes.
I mean, you know, there's a song on my album called "Laugh or Cry," and which sort of sums up my idea of like, well, you just have to. Sometimes you just have to laugh, or you're gonna cry, and it's okay to cry, also. But you know, you have to look, I think, at the positive in every situation.
That's what we're all about.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we try and do
Every
each and every week.
Yes.
You know, we understand like where we are at the moment. We've been in lockdown for months now.
9
There's some
years.
really serious
9 years.
lockdown and curfews and all that too.
Mm-hmm.
It may be
Yeah.
changing a little bit in the next couple of weeks. We don't know. So we're trying
Yeah.
to provide that light entertainment, which
Yes.
we need.
And music like yours, young man,
Yeah. Oh,
lifts
thank you.
our spirits.
Well, and that's what you do, and I hope people realize in these times that, you know, when you were in lockdown and you didn't have any place to go, you turned to music, you turned to art. So hopefully, you know, next time they're funding art, they think, oh, actually, that's a really essential thing.
Yeah.
Yes, we've been having trouble with that here.
And I think everybody does. Yeah.
I reckon you're right. Yes, it has been lovely having you on, my love. All the best, and thank you.
Lovely. Thanks for joining us, Dal.
Thank you both. It's so nice. Thank you. Mwah.
Heaven.
Really lovely.
Yeah, what a lovely, lovely man.
Really lovely,
That's
and
so much-
it looked like there was more rooms there if I ever go to visit.
Yes.
I didn't ask.
No, it's early
You don't want
days
to,
yet.
yes, you know.
Let's see, lots of love for the song. Definitely. So Ricky was like, feel like dancing. Yeah, wasn't
Yes,
it
that
fun? Stephen, brilliant song. Jim, a great song with a greater message. Keenan, Cap, another Stephen, fantastic song. Yep, lots of love for that song. It's a really good message. Oh, and Ricky also said this would be great in our schools for body positivity. Absolutely.
Very much, and an album out there as well.
Yeah, get onto it.
Download the lot. That's what we recommend.
I've just seen one more before I put it down. Keenan says he looks like Van Gogh. Like a
A
Van
little
Gogh.
bit,
Oh, with
yes.
that beautiful beard.
Yes.
Stunning. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Each and every week, this young man
Young.
enters our world.
I guess
doesn't
he is young, isn't he? We
Oh,
forget.
yes.
We forget that he's a little bit younger than
Oh,
us.
he reminds us, doesn't he?
It's our very own darling community, darling Dean. Hello.
Hello, Kerrie and Dolly. How are you? Woo!
I think I just shattered
they're
Darcy's eardrum.
They're out.
Ooh, la,
They're
la,
out,
la.
everybody.
Oh, we're all trying to do something.
Yes.
It's the most back workout I've gotten all pandemic.
Well,
Oh,
are
darling.
they glued on, or what is going on?
Well, I decided tonight's Community Darling, it comes out of a lot of conversations I've been having with people over the past month, because we were in a time, you know, a month or so ago where it was hard for people to look somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah.
Well done.
There
well
we go.
done.
You know, connected theme. And that's changed a little bit in the last, I don't know, week or so, or couple of weeks or so. Maybe it's because we don't know what's going to be going on with things here or there. I know everyone just seems to be planning and persevering, which is wonderful, because there's been a lot of emotions up and down. So that's kind of what I've done for tonight's Community Darling, is looked at a business that's done a pretty amazing job to keep on moving forward during this pandemic, and get us all thinking about how that can relate to us. Because we're at a different place now, and it's really great to see everyone creating things. I know I've been speaking to businesses in the community who have been doing it really tough, and now they're starting to go, okay, well, what does this mean for the rest of the year if we're not open? You've got people planning midsummer shows and going, what does that mean now if I've got to do it in my home, and how do I think about it? And all during all of this, I don't know about you, but I get so excited each and every week when I see another update of the Victorian Pride Centre and just see it being built. It's so exciting and so beautiful. So I thought we'd look at the building industry that have done some amazing things and speak to the CEO of an organisation who's a gay, who's part of the community, a gay. I can't even believe I just said that like that. But
You've outed them. You've outed them.
But that's the most important thing, is why I'm wearing my headgear, because you've got to have protective outfits. I've gone straight into a really serious conversation today.
Oh,
No, but
you
you-
didn't even need us. Didn't
You
even
just
need
told us
us.
everything, but that's
Yes.
describe what's going on.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
But you know what we love, darling, is that, you know, you do stories of hope, and that's what we need,
Yes.
and you deliver it. So you've already talked about your
Yes, and we love,
We love
that
it.
you dressed up as the Wicked Witch.
And I love that the two of you have dressed up for Christmas in September. It's very festive. I
We
like it.
missed out, shall I? We missed out.
Thanks so much, darling.
Mwah.
Has anyone noticed something different in the ISO air this past week? No, I'm not talking about the increased pollen count blowing on the wind. When you go on your daily walk, have you noticed that things look a little different? While we've all been locked away working at home in our undies, the buildings that surround us have continued with construction amidst evolving restrictions. Now, even if you haven't noticed it on your walk, you can't avoid it when you see the pictures every couple of days showing the continued work on the Victorian Pride Centre as it nears completion. So what's so special about the construction industry? Well, you'd be amazed what planning and supporting the health of your industry can do. Something none of us are going to take for granted when we're on the other side of this current global crisis.
I don't think my predecessor did any media in his entire time as CEO, and there certainly wasn't any COVID testing. I've always really loved construction. I'm a working class boy. So I grew up in Western Australia when it was not fashionable to be a gay man. And I spent a lot of time in and out of the closet as a result. I don't think people really understand now fully what a force for good the construction industry has kind of been.
Eric is the CEO of Incolink, a construction industry body in Victoria that, amongst other things, provides health services to construction workers. And the first thing he did when COVID hit the state was arrange on-site COVID testing by converting a bus used for testing prostate cancer and GP checkups on construction sites into a COVID testing site.
Prostate tests has been a big part of our past. How did we make it work in sort of a large scale really quickly is that we got a bunch of parallel testing done. So we were doing, 4 sites a day without the bus, but actually going into the sites, setting up the lunchrooms with a clinical kind of governance model around it, and then doing hundreds of people through each day with testing. Some places it was just chaotic. I mean, I was out on site and we had places doing 600 tests a day. Certainly it's been one of the most full-on things I've ever been involved in. Anybody else trying to get onto a construction site to do symptomatic testing, any kind of health service, just wouldn't have been able to. But because we have the trust of unions and employers, we were able to do it within 3 days, being asked to do it. To stack out 19,000 tests in 3 months.
That's a massive number and a huge undertaking. And while many of us were trying to decide whether or not to go to a drive-in test site because of a runny nose, they were able to increase the number of tests they were doing even more.
It's been really instructive about how good and how resilient the industry is. The construction industry is really used to working in hazardous environments. There's a lot of stuff written about how adversarial it is, but the industry actually only works because it's a partnership between employers and unions. We had the idea to do it in advance of government. So we thought a good idea would be to do some asymptomatic testing of sites just to make sure they're safe, so that if restrictions got raised, the industry could keep functioning. We've done about 6 times what we'd planned for originally, but it's the benefit of us existing and being able to get onto sites and also workers trusting us. I mean, workers and employers actually trust us. So they will go and have a swab up their nose, which is an unpleasant experience, but 19,000 of them have. So we found 7 positives out of 19,000 in asymptomatic testing. Those 7 could have easily become 700. Let's be honest about it. But what happened was that the moment you identify someone who's positive, you close down the site, you clean it. Anybody who was a close contact got tested and asked to obey the protocols that have been set up. We had a COVID payment that we pay people to stay at home. They're affected by COVID. So that's something industry set up. We were ahead of the state government in that. And then people could return to work once they were absolutely sure everything was okay.
So you might be wondering why I'm talking about this today. It's because we need to be highlighting the big difference planning and planning early can make for our future. Because of this, Victoria's construction industry is using their time to literally build spaces that will support our future. When we're on the other side of this, of course, and we can all be doing the exact same thing. Over the past month, I've spoken to a lot of people in our communities, some business owners who are having to plan 2 paths, one towards reopening and one towards shutting their doors for good. Some people have resigned from their jobs, while others haven't had a say in the matter and are now working in a different life direction or going back to study. And I've seen communities ramp up accessibility and inclusion in spaces, and I honestly don't see us moving backwards from that. We don't know what tomorrow brings, but there's one thing we can all agree on. Putting our hands over our ears and hoping this passes isn't a pathway that's working. And just because we aren't physically moving around doesn't mean we can't move forward, whether restrictions ease up in 2 weeks or 2 months.
Construction offers a range of wonderful careers that people should really have a look at as well. If you're a young gay man considering your future, consider construction. It's well paid, secure jobs, increasingly safe, and there's a diversity of roles from blue collar to white collar.
Can you believe I made it all the way through to the end of this piece without mentioning the village people or buildings being erected? Maybe I'm maturing in ISO.
Oh, another great story from
Very
Dean.
well done.
You know, each and every week we don't actually know what Dean is going to cover.
We
so
don't want to
so we
know.
watch it when you're watching it as well. So that was really amazing. Of course.
He uses that very same hammer to do Frog's makeup, which is unbelievable.
Beat that face.
No, yet again, that man has knocked it right out. We love what you do, Dean, and I believe everybody else does as well.
Yeah, very nice.
Very good.
I think we need another musical number, don't we?
Oh, now this is another one we got of the internet, and but I know this young man, and we're really excited for you to watch this great video. A lot of great content.
It's going to take it down a little notch, though. isn't it?
Beautiful,
Very
song,
nice.
But I reckon you'll love it. They'll love it.
I'm frightened for the world right now. Times are changing, time's been lost. Trying hard to find the strength right now. Mind is racing, a line's been crossed. But there is hope for all of us, 'cause there is love all around us. Spread your wings, take to the skies. Through the darkness, find the light, and hold on. Hold on. Be the bravest. It's time for us to realize the unworldly truth. We're isolated, but not alone. When the walls fall down, find a refuge still around you, in family, friends, home. 'Cause there is hope for all of us. There is love all around us. Spread your wings, take to the skies. Through the darkness, find the light, and hold on. And hold on. Be the bravest. The world keeps turning around us, but we've stopped spinning. A battle of a billion hearts and one we're winning. While the world keeps turning around us, just stop for a minute. Open your heart, your mind, your soul to a new beginning. 'Cause there is hope for all of us. There is love all around us. Find your wings, take to the skies. Through the darkness, find the light. And hold on. Hold on. Be the bravest.
Oh,
Beautiful.
wonderful. Snap.
Someone started a little.
Oh, listen, I love this man, and he must be feeling very, very proud. Scott, are you there, my love?
Hello.
Oh, again, the technology gods are on our side.
All the way
from over
England,
there.
England.
You look
Lying, guys. You know perfectly well I'm just in the room next door.
Oh, I wish you were. Listen, it's doing really well, isn't it? I know that you were but the iTunes. Where are we now?
If you'd have asked me yesterday, we'd have been at number 36. But you're asking me today, and we've kind of dropped out of the charts now,
No,
unfortunately.
so 36 it is.
No.
36 it is.
And that means that our Aussie audience has got to get on and buy it.
Yes, please. Thank you, Dolly.
Yes.
So obviously it's got a project due to circumstances. How long did it take, to bring that all together? It's so beautifully done.
Do you know, it's really weird because I was doing my living room shows like yourselves not so long ago, and I literally woke up on the Monday. I used to do it on a Friday, so I woke up on the Monday and I said, I'm going to write a song for everybody, and I'm going to do it on the Friday. So I wrote that all in 4 days, left the project behind, and then got to the end of my shows and thought, let's create a video. People sent the clips through, which are beautiful. And so literally, if you put it into it took a week. But it's a project that's been over 20 weeks, as it were.
Yes, and you're now, as you mentioned, now you were doing it where you lived, and now you're allowed to do live gigs, aren't you?
Yeah, it is so nice seeing real people.
Yes.
Nice.
We're not allowed that yet, are we?
No, not yet, but we will get there. So Scott, tell us what your life. I was choking my words. I'm like, God up.
She's emotional.
Choked on myself. Tell us what it's like with your performing. So of course you don't perform as how we're seeing you now. We do. You have
as
all
a
the
woman.
No, I'm dressed. It's a little bit like Dolly, but a bit more glamorous.
Cut the connection.
I can't lie. So normally
I love this.
there's
Keep it going.
there's something here and there's something here, and just to make
Nothing
people.
in there.
Oh. and no name. A drag of no name. So no name.
It's no name. I wasn't intending. I started this 20 years ago. I wasn't intended to do this for 20 years, but it just kind of happened. I went on stage without a name, and I went, I am the drag with no name, and that was it.
And it's stuck.
Well, and Drag with No Name is in Brighton in England, and I mean literally one of the best and biggest in Brighton. There are others, and I love the others as well, but he's absolutely fabulous and works his arse off to win
you
an
can
audience.
swear.
And that's right.
Oh, yes.
That's about it, though. No more than that. No,
That's about it.
Shit. But you work to win them over, and that's what I love.
Yeah, it's in me, and it's like doing what I've just done now with my video. It's about making people smile and laugh. I had so many messages come through whilst I was in lockdown saying how much joy, like you guys, are bringing to them as well. What we're doing coming out of this COVID thing, trying to adapt to it all. So lots of people at home that are feeling sad and a bit lonely and down, and it was just a way of just saying, kind of hold on and just we'll get there. Won't we?
So how is it over there at the moment? You're looking a little bit brown. Where have you been?
I'm always, but when it's Brighton, see, it's always sunny. I would say it's sunny, but It's cloudy, as you can see today, which is
Not over there.
but-
It looks
actually,
really lovely where behind you
Where
there.
you were pointing, you were
Yes.
pointing to a photo of a certain
A
someone.
little ray of sunshine.
Look at that
She's-
glamour shot.
So
Oh,
this is
did she send
always
that to
on
you?
her. She's always on her windowsill, and what we do is we keep it there, and then we turn it round to scare the feral animals away.
I love the idea of you and your beautiful man knocking one out to a picture of me. I just love it.
Oh,
We've been
it's
together
great.
25
that
years. We don't
note-
knock out together, Dolly.
Darling, what time is it there, by the way?
Early.
It's
It's early. Still see the bed prints embedded in my forehead.
Oh, your Botox is working.
Well,
so
we
good.
are glad that you made the effort.
Thank you so
Lovely.
much.
It's a joy to speak to you both. Lots of love to you.
Mwah.
And to you too, darling.
Mwah.
Oh, it's so
I
lovely.
love it when someone can give you shade. And
Oh,
it's not
well,
me. Someone
he's lovely though,
else.
isn't he?
Divine.
Lovely, and he's getting better. That's what I like. Gorgeous as a man.
Yes.
Beautiful as a woman. Have a look at this. Oh, she's all
Ooh,
I
glamour. I just love that drag with no name. Like that's
Yes.
how it's just stayed. I think it's really funny.
Yes. You know what? Listen, I don't know when all this magic will ever end, but you know we've got to get on our Rose Garden. We've got to get Rosie on.
Well, do you want to explain to our darling viewers who Rose is?
Oh, one of the best amateur track acts on the. You know her, she's our mate, isn't
Yes.
she?
Well,
She's
where
our
is she?
Sister.
Bit more
Over there in
information.
England.
Yes, she's
And
amazing.
it just made me all lovely and nostalgic speaking with Scott. We've got to get Rose on. She's my sister. We'll get her on. We'll get
Well,
her
I
on.
just like the fact that she's only just like the Kerrie and Dolly Facebook page.
Yes.
We've only been on air for what, 32 episodes or something.
She's a slow burner, but we love her. Well, listen.
Well, I was going to say, quick update.
All right.
Last week, you may remember we debuted our new song.
Yes.
I'm still calling Lockdown Home. It's doing a little bit well.
We're all right with it, aren't
Yes,
we?
yes. I think we've had about 11,000 views. As Moira Rose would say, give me antibiotics, we've gone viral. Well, no, we haven't really.
Well, enough. I mean, you know.
Any chance to quote Schitt's Creek is good in my
No
language.
wonder Scott gets, excited with it, doing well on iTunes.
Yeah.
We're not on iTunes, but people have watched our little number.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yes, and if you haven't seen it, it is on the Kerrie and Dolly Facebook page. It was a little bit of fun, and it's featuring yours truly and friends of Kerrie and Dolly as well.
The
Those-
lovely, the Minister Martin Foley shared it today.
Lovely. Yeah.
Shouldn't do that.
Right. Time
We
for
are
another-
ready, yes.
We are ready for another chat, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, so joining us now is the Australian, oh my God, I've forgotten the name, not the name, I've got to get the title right, Australian Sex Discrimination Commissioner. So I was excited talking about her
No.
song. The lovely Kate Jenkins is joining us now. Hello, Kate.
Hi, great to be here.
Well, we are thrilled that you're joining us. I mean, this is a lady that does an incredible job, and I want to know all about it in the way that you've been able to do your job in isolation. The Australian Sexual Discrimination. I mean, you must be busy.
It's been really busy, and actually, because it's an Australian role, I normally spend a lot of time traveling, but in isolation, interestingly, I've got to travel all over Australia through the kind of the digital means.
Yeah.
So I have spent a lot of time in my office, looking out my window, so I'm kind of there now. There's a green patch out there that my dogs hang out on. So I can be like in meetings doing things and watching the dogs at the same time. But it's been, I mean, for everyone, a radically different year. But for some of the work I do, it's actually using webinars, having everyone jumping online, like these sorts of things, has meant to, I guess, on reflection, I've reached, had conversations with people I would never have had conversations with if I'd been doing my normal on a plane, off a plane, on another plane. So, so it's it's not great, but it's better than we could do it.
Yes.
And Kate, can you explain I guess, in very simple terms, what your role actually is. What does it mean?
That's a great question. The role, the Sex Discrimination Commissioner role, was established as part of Australia's obligations under the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. CEDAW is often known as. And Australia was quite advanced. So in 1984, when we introduced the Sex Discrimination Act, which at that point covered basically sex discrimination and pregnancy, marital status, but now covers sexual orientation, gender identity, and intersex status as well. So this role was created. Basically, my job is to advance the human rights of women and girls and people of non-binary people and LGBTI communities. And work to prevent discrimination and basically promote gender equality more broadly. And so it's kind of it's a unique job, and I do that by some big projects, some education, some media, a lot of talking to government and trying to influence government. And so it sort of has, it's unique. It has the ability to report to the United Nations, and I do that. It's an independent role, so sometimes I will be critical of what government's doing, or at least always constructive, but it's sort of independent, so I can have my voice to make sure that we're moving in a positive direction.
I would imagine when you go around the world, there are, as we would well know, areas of the world where they're not as advanced. And we'll maybe leave it at that. But over here where we are in Australia, I mean, surely, your job must be easy, wouldn't it? There's no sexual discrimination in Australia.
I was on a webinar the other day with a woman. I've just done a big project, some people might know, on sexual harassment. So a national inquiry on sexual harassment in the workplace. And I was on a webinar the other day with a woman called Catherine McKinnon, who was basically the US lawyer who actually conceived of the idea of sexual harassment in the 70s. And she said, we've gone from, it used to be, it's impossible, it will never get there, gender equality, it'll never happen, to, well, it doesn't happen because it's all done. We've got equality, stop complaining about it. And her comment was, it was either tomorrow or yesterday, but we never actually went through the part where it's actually happened.
Now, yes. It's
so,
never now, yes.
No, it's never now. So Australia is good at some things though. So Dolly, you're absolutely right. We're great, particularly at educating young people, particularly girls and boys and non-binary people, get good educations. And I would say we're quite good on laws. Imagine having, like, most countries don't have my role. They don't have, we've got an ambassador for women in STEM, an ambassador for gender equality. But what we've proven not to be, what we're not good at, and you see it in the paper, we're not good at violence against women. We hear lots about family violence. Yes. Online violence is really growing. Sexual harassment is really high. We're not good at women's economic security. So older women are the fastest growing group of homelessness, and a number of them retire into poverty because they haven't got savings. And we're also not that good on diversity in leadership. So even though we think we're good, think of how many female prime ministers we've had. And of course, as usual, you can count most of those positions on, one hand and often one finger. So even though the narrative is it's all really good, the actual facts are not quite as positive as the narrative. So that's sort of my job.
We need more women, don't we? We need more women
Absolutely.
in leadership.
Do you think, Kate, that the youth, I guess where I'm coming from, there's lots of stories being told, based on true stories, on Netflix and Stan, all those kind of things that are coming out, and showing of situations that happened back in the 70s and 80s. And we watch them now and are horrified, of course, of what went on, and it was back. Do you think the young people of today, because they're not experiencing it as much, do you think they're surprised at what had actually gone on?
So it's really interesting, and it's not the only thing I've done. I'm doing some work with gymnastics at the moment, so that's interesting. But on the sexual harassment topic, and if you're looking around, we've had lots of reporting on sexual harassment this year with the High Court, with AMP. I do spend quite a bit of time moving from actually, let's not assume this was just all in the dim, dark past. So there has been a few of those sexual harassment cases are like really old, from Burke's backyard. That was a long time ago. But actually, when we did our survey in 2018, we found that 1 in 3 Australian workers had been sexually harassed. So the first thing I would say is I think once you get older, and I'm just past 50, you're not being harassed in the same way. You're in a more powerful position. It doesn't kind of work in the same way. But for some of the young people, what I hear is they're shocked at the blatant stuff. But then when I talk to them, they're actually, because their work is quite often casual, and now with COVID, it's even less secure, they actually have put up with a lot of rubbish. And we're not quite as, this goes to Dolly's question, of course we're there. People say that, but when I've talked one-on-one to people, we're not there at all. And even young people know we're not there.
No, I mean,
I don't mean to be negative. I should be more positive than that.
Not at all. It's being a realist.
I believe that is being positive.
Yeah.
I mean, in knowing that we've gone a long way, but it will never end. There will always be someone who doesn't follow the rules, someone who goes against the grain, and that is why we need you.
And look, a lot of my job is I've really come to a point where there will always be someone, but at the moment there's just way too many, and it's part of the culture and the system. So my aim is let's change all those systemic drivers. So when I look at sexual harassment, and then you look in the legal profession, and there's mostly men at the top and women at the bottom, and there's great power differential, and you won't get a job if you don't get along. Some of those things actually create the environment. So in lots of ways, I remember speaking to a senior guy who said, I'm really working on bystanders to help improve behaviours, because he said, if I can do that, then I'm just down to the stuff that happens when no one's around.
Yes.
And so kind of that's a bit like my job. I agree with you that we won't eliminate, but I feel like we might be at a tipping point on some of this culture stuff that certainly in the corporate world, there's now a recognition that that's not okay. And I think that tip makes a big difference.
As we're aware, that makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
We've got to be aware. You have been amazing. We're really glad that you could join us tonight. And we send our love. All
Lovely.
the best.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I love your show, and I'm really grateful you invited me.
Yay.
Judy Kelly with more from Joy News. In sports news, Paralympics Australia has become the latest addition to the Australian Pride in Sport programme. The programme supports sporting organisations with inclusion for people of diverse genders and sexualities. President of Paralympics Australia, Jock O'Callaghan, says the Paralympic movement has always promoted inclusion by challenging attitudes and breaking down barriers. And the new partnership with Pride in Sport will add to the shared pursuit for greater inclusivity, not just in sport, but in society generally. Jean Hales for Women's Health is partnering with the National LGBTI Health Alliance for Women's Health Week, which starts on Monday. The community partnership raises awareness of the health disparities, stigmas and discrimination that LGBTI women and gender diverse people can experience accessing healthcare. Check in on health is the message for Women's Health 2020. Encourage priority health during COVID-19 and setting aside time to check in on our physical and mental well-being. And finally, Germany, where in Hamburg initiated a Scholarships for Doing Nothing programme. The programme is designed to challenge social perceptions of achievement and success and was partly inspired by the lack of activity during COVID-19 lockdowns. It encourages students to think about a lack of negative consequences rather than success. Applicants will answer 4 questions. What do you want not to do? How long do you want not to do it for? Why is it important not to do this particular thing? And why are you the right person not to do it? That's the latest from Joy TV News. I've been Judy Kelly. Now it's back to Kerrie and Dolly.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Lauren.
Love it.
Right, well, you heard from this performer at the top of the show with some hanky-panky, and that got us ready to go. We want to have a chat to him now. Performer, Aaron, hello, are you there?
Hi, Kerrie and Dolly. How are you?
Oh, well, we're all right. Look at that.
Look at you. You have got the goods, doll.
Wow.
Fabulous.
My word, did you whip that up earlier today, or what's this going on?
Not earlier today, but during isolation, I have pulled out the Genome and I have been sewing up some frocks for when I can actually get outside and wear them.
Yes.
Fabulous. And I mean, I make headwear, so of course I'm naturally attracted to that. Love that you've got a little head wrappy going on, especially to keep your head warm too in the cooler months.
Oh, yes.
Now, honey, we've already heard your first song, Fun and Camp, Kinky Boots.
That's me.
Tell us about it.
Yes.
I was really fortunate to be able to be in Kinky Boots last year. And it was just amazing. Just the sort of dream role. I got to play Lola. The character was just amazing to connect with. We had all of my costumes and boots were custom made. And it was just so wonderful to be able to be in a queer story with a lot of heart and a lot of depth and a lot of emotion and be able to share that with people. It was really great.
I mean, a lot of, as we know, a lot of musicals are, well, almost, number and story and throwaway. But that really does have a message, doesn't it?
It's a great story.
Beautiful
We loved it. And of course, being a performer, you're missing your audience. How are you coping in ISO? Apart from doing the Genome, what's keeping you sane?
Lucky I have 2 dogs and they don't mind when I sing to them. So I have been sort of pulling out the microphone, trying to get a bit of stuff down, trying to keep the pipe still warm. And I live in a bit of a tiny apartment complex. So I have had a couple of times where I've been practicing and then I hear applause from outside.
Oh, that's
really
nice.
lovely.
It's better than shut up.
Yeah, it's nice to still have an audience,
And you were on The X Factor.
Oh, yes, The X Factor.
That didn't sound so good when you said that.
Well, look, it was nice to be on screen and the way that they edited me and my image was portrayed really positively, which I thought, being a queer story a couple of years ago, that it might not be as positive. There could have been something different happening, but it was so great. And the reactions that I got were amazing and people still recognize me in the street from that, which is just top.
Why not then? Really, why not?
Now, you've got another number for us. Tell us what it's going to be.
Look, this next number is Like a Virgin by Madonna. It's a bossa cover that I came across about, 7 years ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I think that being in isolation, all of my single friends are crying that they're not getting any attention like they used to. So this is sort of a little nod to all of our friends that are stockpiling toilet paper because they can't be with this stuff.
Well, fabulous. Thank you so much for joining. We love what you do and hope to see you live soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, darlings. Have a nice evening. Bye.
I made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through. Didn't know how lost I was until I found you. I was beat, incomplete. I'd been had. I was sad and blue, 'cause you made me feel. Yeah, you made me feel shiny and new. Ooh, like a virgin. touched for the very first time, like a virgin. When your heart beats next to, I'm gonna give you all love, boy. Here is fading fast. Been saving it all for you, 'cause love can last. You're so fine, and you're mine. Make me strong, yeah, you make me bold. Oh, your love thought out, yeah, your love thought out what was scared and cold. Ooh, like a virgin, touched for the very first time, like a virgin. When your heart beats next to mine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're so fine, and you're mine. I'll be yours till the end of time, 'cause you made me feel, yeah, you made me feel I've got nothing to hide. Ooh, like a virgin, ooh, touched for the very first time, like a virgin. When your heart beats next to mine, like a virgin. Ooh, like a virgin. Feels so good inside when you hold me and you touch me and you kiss me like a virgin.
Oh, great song, great song. And I feel like
Ashton as well.
Oh, Ashton and Jean-Pierre and that signing. Oh, it just makes it too. Really fun. Thank you so much. Great
Like a
work,
virgin
Aaron.
all over again, I did.
That was the first ever 12-inch I ever bought.
Oh, 12 inches. What a
Takes you
memory.
back.
It really does. We've gone just Garrick over this evening.
But you know what? It didn't matter because everything was gold.
Was it good?
So good.
I mean, we were all right, but everybody else was amazing. Amazing.
Right, next week we've got another ripper of a show. We've got music aficionado Zanro.
Well done.
Yes, thank God. I was like, get that word out. And
oh, we've got the musical maestro Trevor Jones. We love Trevor, don't we?
yeah, absolutely we do. And we've got comedic icon Tim Ferguson and another musical number.
Oh, Flaxen. These girls are gorgeous. You're going to love them. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great week. Stay safe.